Fred Ferguson with FredFerguson.com. I'm going to do something different today. I was just looking at my calendar here, and we're on day 18. And what's really becoming interesting about this project is not only am I getting more comfortable talking on the camera, I'm having feedback, which is amazing. I love getting feedback. And it's actually changed the direction of where I thought I wanted to go with what I'm doing here. So underneath this video here, there's going to be sort of my story. A couple of my guys said, we want to know more about you and what makes you tick. Well, usually we're just too busy to be interested in somebody else's story, and I found that to be really it was cool, and it was also my mind went off in a whole bunch of different directions. See, I've been in sales, I've been in service to people all of my life. I've done a variety of different jobs. I grew up in a gas station, and from well, the gas station was built in 56. I was born in 52. I guess from, well, I was too short to reach the pump when I first got started. My dad would get me started. I'd be manning the hose, and then he'd wash the windows and stuff. You know, we had a radio and black and white TV. We had an antenna outside that somebody had to twist it in order to get reception to be straight. Like with 3 channels, you don't have a lot of choices, and when something like the President of the United States speaks, you're screwed. You're not doing anything. You're not listening to anything. You're not watching anything but the President of the United States speak. We had chores to do. We didn't have Nintendos. We didn't have, and we didn't feel that that was a bad deal. You don't know what you don't know. And I think that in some days we were way better off in the day. We had no money, so we had to learn how to make deals. And that gas station that we had was open every day but Christmas. And it was open from early in the morning till late at night. And I don't think anybody felt sorry for themselves working in that. I mean, I grew up around farmers and their sons and daughters. I remember the Bests, the girls drove the tractor. And yeah, there wasn't anybody that didn't have something to do. And that's not like the way it is now. But the thing that I'm finding amusing about marketing, because this is not new to me. What's new to me is doing it online. What's new to me is the anonymity that has been happening. The amount of weird shit, like bullying and hiding behind the screen and all of that kind of stuff. Now, I had a fear of the camera, and I wanted to master that. I wanted to do that because I don't believe any real great business happens that isn't eyeball to eyeball. That's why all of my work previous to this year was, we call it belly to belly. And so now we're in this environment where you can pretend you're a sexy young girl when you're an old predator, or you can, it's not the way it seems to be. And you can have other countries that are taking your IDs and selling them to other. It's really a different sort of a space that we're in. But I still believe in that trust thing. And I think that nobody can get to know you until you're willing to show a part of yourself that you probably don't want to, that you're probably uncomfortable with. And when I was in real estate, I didn't have great mentors. I didn't have people that just acted normally. We acted like realtors. We were taught how to act like realtors. And so there's a respect level there that goes up when you break that mold and become a person that is in real estate. But generally that's hard to find. In fact, I think the idea about authenticity is going by the wayside, like complete sentences or vernacular. Like I swear, I curse, and all kinds of stuff, and I know it's lazy talk, and I have a better command of vocabulary than that, but it is what it is. So when I decided I was going to do what I'm doing today, it was based on comments that I got off my blog, and a couple of things happened. My dogs are playing a front center role. There's the one guy at my feet here, and the girl, she's wandering around. She's wandering around seeing what's going on, seeing if she can find. On the island, we get critters crawling around, and as quick as we can grab them, we snap them up and get rid of them, because she's the great white hunter of bugs. Why do you want to get into this, is what crossed my mind. I knew why I wanted to get into it. I wanted to be able to serve, and I wanted to do it in a way that was convenient for me, and I wanted to be able to do it in sweats if I wanted to, and I wanted to be able to offer something that I could profit from, and the people who get it from me profit from, and I could be sleeping at the time. That's what attracted me to this. Now, the more that I'm around this, the more I realize that not everybody's got that mentality. There's a bunch of people that want shit to happen for them automatically. They want to have it handed to them, and that is the sucker row. Savvy marketers build landing pages for you, if that's who you are, to take your money and keep you busy unwrapping shit like Christmas presents. And it doesn't have to, the boxes can be empty, because they know you won't have enough time to go through it. And the way to know if that's so or not is buy something and actually implement it. Don't get anything else until you have done everything in the step-by-step and those videos that go along with it, and prove that it works or doesn't. And I make this comment because a lot of my friends now are coders, because I don't know how to code. So who do you make friends with? Coders. Specifically, if you want to be able to sell software that's worth the shit to people, which I do. And momentarily, this website is still evolving. The last thing I'm putting on it is the things I'm going to sell, because money is at the bottom of the totem pole. If you don't know, like, and trust who you're doing business with, I don't know why you're doing business with them. I won't. I've done it when I was in the shiny object state, looking for the solution. I, though, wasn't looking for automatic instant money. I was looking for ideas to help me when I was in real estate. I wasn't even looking to be an internet marketer, and I think I'm really still a services provider more than... I don't even really see myself as I am, and I don't see myself as an affiliate marketer. At any rate, why I started this is I have a very clear picture about my why. My dogs are my why, my wife is my why, my grandkids is my why. Being able to carry on as if I was still selling real estate is my why, and do it in a way that's not trudging through houses and not bickering with people that don't want to spend enough to buy, or sellers that want too goddamn much money for their house. I don't like any of that stuff anymore. I'm tired of it. It's old. You know, once you do something long enough, it's time for a change. So I know what my why is, but what's yours? Why are you here? Now, assuming you didn't land on this page because somebody said to you, you got to go and see what this yo-yo is saying on the thing because he's completely crazy. If you're here because of what the thing was aimed at, what the purpose of the site is, you want to figure out how to either make another income to augment the one that you have, or replace a job that you lost, or get it so that you don't need that damn job anymore and have your own business. That's what I'm assuming that you're here for. So that's really who I'm talking to. If you're not it, you might as well leave, because the rest of it won't matter. You better stop buying and dreaming, plotting and scheming, until you can come to terms with a couple of realities about doing business online or anywhere. I'm new to online, really. I used online to draw attention to offline work that I did. Okay, so I'm very, very familiar with getting eyeballs on stuff. I've been familiar with that for a long time. What I'm not familiar with is people that say they want to do something, but they got no intention of doing it. I'm not familiar with that. I play guitar, and I can't tell you how many times I've been at a party, and usually the drunkest one, but sometimes not, would come around and they'd hang around and they'd watch what I was doing, and they'd say, I'd do anything to be able to play like that. No, I wasn't a Keith Richards. I wasn't. I was a bluegrass picker, a flat picker. And it was okay. I wasn't that player, but I was pretty good for a novice. And I looked at them and I said, do you have a guitar? No. You want to play? Yeah, I'd do anything. I said, well, let's start with buying a guitar. Why don't you have a fucking guitar? If you want to learn how to play guitar, you got to have a fucking guitar. So I know a bit about people making statements that they want to do things and they really don't have the intention to do it. But I'll guarantee you that your chances of having success playing guitar are a lot better without a guitar than thinking you're going to make a living online with no intention to provide value or service to people for their money. You know, that's not going to happen. We see that. I've watched online marketing for years, Warrior Forum days, and there's been a lot of people I've seen come and go. And I was never a player. I was a consumer. I was a buyer. And I've only switched places just recently. Andy Brocklehurst is a name you'll hear me speak often. Brett Ritecki is another name that you'll hear me speak often. I will say that there's about 4 or 5 people, top of mind names that I have who I now know. I made it a point to get to know the people who I respected the most, because that's really all I was interested in. And Andy Brocklehurst and Brett Ritecki are the two guys that are right on the top. And I think that if you want to be a marketer, and if you are willing to do what it takes to be a marketer, you still won't do it alone. You will not do it alone. I'm not saying that you have to do... I'm not saying you have to hook up with a coach or any of those kinds of things. That's a good way to do it. But you can do it aside from that, but you've got to want to. And you've got to want to put in the hours. So if TV is a bigger priority than hours and hours and hours, I've been on my computer until 3 in the morning. I'm not a person who learns new skills very quickly. I can learn new skills and I can do a half-decent job at it, but I'm not stellar at it. I'm 65 years old. I can do a lot of shit that a lot of 65-year-olds can't do. But underneath, you're going to see that I asked you 2 questions, and I want you to think about that. Because providing value is what I think is the only thing that will success. It will make you successful even if none of the dots connect. Like if you've got persistence and if you've got a desire to make other people happy. Now you're not going to be a doormat for people. I used to do that. I don't think there's nothing good that comes from that. And kissing people's asses that like to use you as doormats, toss them away, because let them go be somebody else's burden. But I started this post because I wanted to, first of all, thank the guys that are talking to me in my blog and giving me a direction. Because generally, this is really all new territory. The reason why I did the 30-day challenge was A, to stop being afraid of the camera, and B, to actually learn how to do what these IM guys teach. The problem is there's too many angles, there's too many choices, there's too many colors, there's too many noises. Things are too shiny, and new is not new. It's already old. And the amount of times I've seen the same thing respun, it occurred to me, wait a minute, is this even what I want to do? I think there's a thing in here that I'm really going to like, and it's probably going to be teaching people how to be comfortable in front of the camera, maybe. And it's going to be offering them software that they can get people to give them their email address. And I think everybody's got to learn how to tell their story. I think that we've all got to stop hiding behind the screen. We've got to stop pretending we're something we're not. We've got to stop bullshitting people. Moreover, I think we've got to stop bullshitting ourselves. I love dealing with real people. Brett and Andy are examples of real people. Brett and Andy have people that do not like them. I am not one of those people. I think I'm a better guy for them to have around than anybody who doesn't like them anyway. So I've adopted that very same philosophy more recently than I'd like to admit. I'd like to have had that for the duration of my career, but I grew up in a bit of a mean environment, and you know, you did as you're told, and if somebody wanted your opinion, they'd give it to you. All right? So I'm going to wind this down. It's gone long. But from this point forward, I'm really going to try to figure out how I can bring some value and how I can make myself pretty open book, so that by the time I start putting things together and things like that, you'll already get a feel for whether you can trust me or not. And I'd like you to come along with me and see where this goes. I'm not any good at putting guarantees down. That's just about as stupid as it gets, because a guarantee is like, and I know the language, and I know what copy says, and I know all these things are awesome. Anything I will say will not be a criticism or contrary to good marketing. But I think one missing ingredient for too many people is lack of authenticity, lack of honesty, a lack of transparency. I think if we can take those things and put them in with copywriting skills and persuasive language, persuasive graphics, then I think you've got a winning combination. Create a product that has zero refunds. I know there's serial refunders. These assholes are always going to be assholes. You're not going to stop that. Black hat forms are never going to go away. That's just a reality. But I believe, anyway, for me, the goal is going to be, I'm shooting for zero refunds. I'm shooting for, you won't want to not have what I'm offering, because you'll be without it. And I think that if we could all be doing that, this whole thing would be a whole different story than what's going on right now. I think that there is I call it the rush to the bottom, right? The race to the bottom, whatever you want to call it. When I started hanging around the Warrior Forum, there wasn't $7 offers. There still isn't, but there's $7 to $9 tripwires that are $150 funnels. And everybody gets pissed off because of the upsells. But what made you think that there was a fucking $7 offer in the first place? Like, where did that mentality come from? I don't know. At any rate, my goal is not to make everybody like me. My goal is just to either tell you the truth or shut the hell up about something. There'll be things that I won't bother talking about because it would be too polarizing or too divisive to talk about it. But the things that I am willing to talk about, you can bet that it's what I believe. And I can be wrong. And I'll admit it. And I'll change. If I see something that's way better than what I'm thinking, I'll drop my thoughts like a heartbeat. I used to drink like a fish. 1993, I stopped. I used to smoke like a steam engine. In 2000, June 2000, I quit. So I know how to quit hard habits. I know how to change my mind. I know how to fess up. I know how to show you my words. And I know how to tell the truth, and I will do that. I will do that. And if that's cool with you, come on along with the ride. For the ride. With me on a ride. I don't know how to put that. Hook up with me. Join me. I think this is going to be awesome. Because if nothing else, we'll one by one, as I build my relationships one by one, we'll change how things work. One by one. There'll be failures. There'll be winners. But I think that if you can feel good, like I feel, how I feel when I'm with my animals, if I can continue to do business and feel clean and be profitable enough, that's going to be good enough. You have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Now, how do I turn this off?